first one we're going to look at here is a Phantom 2. And as we grab the Phantom 2 out of the box, the first thing we grab out is our quadcopter. And you'll notice that the quadcopter on a Phantom 2 is, it can either carry their, if it's a Vision, can carry their camera. This is a Phantom 2 that carries the GoPro and has the 3-axis gimbal. Now because this GoPro has been added to this unit, you'll see that it's got the exterior transmitter as well as the exterior communication and the video board for linking the systems together. So we'll set it up here, and then we'll get started with some of the other gear that it's going to take to make this successful. And the one thing is you've got to get the FPV monitor. So as we grab out the FPV monitor, you can see here that that's this 7-inch screen unit. And with these FPV monitors, you really kind of need them on some kind of a stand so that you can actually change the angle of them so that you can actually see what you're doing out there in the field and when you're looking down, because oftentimes it's going to be sitting on a tailgate of a truck or on a card table or something that you've carried out to the field. So the FPV monitor has to be powered, so that's why you've got to carry extra battery packs. The battery pack that actually goes in the Phantom itself is a modular design that actually snaps into the back of it. You can see here is an example of the battery pack that slips in the back. And that's the same with both the Copters we're going to look at today. And then when you actually plug the battery in, so you have charged this battery home, and now you've got that battery charged and ready to go. Now when we look at the navigation piece associated with this, that we've added to this one the 2.4 gigahertz data link system from DJI as well. And so we've got to now get it powered up. The way it comes to you is it comes with this pigtail, and then you've got to find the appropriate connector for your battery pack and get it hooked up. So in this case, we've connected, I've soldered a connection to it, so we'll put that together, and now we've got our data interface. It'll interface with our iPad or iPhone, as well as here is the data interface that'll interface with the Copter itself once it's airborne. So now that we've got that all set up, we're ready to fly, and so you can see that we'll get the transmitter out, get it geared up, get it in GPS mode, and so once we turn the bird on here, you'll start seeing that on our monitor here, it actually is going to power the camera. So we've got to start the GoPro camera, or at least power up the GoPro camera. And when we do that, then the GoPro camera will go through its, get its gimbal squared away. We'll turn that up, and then you can see on the screen now that the GoPro camera is looking out. Now with the GoPro camera, one of the things you've got to remember to do, it's kind of easy to forget the first time, is you've got to remember to turn it on into record mode before you take off. Because once you take off, if you try to fly with that thing with the Wi-Fi on, it interferes with the quadcopter's Wi-Fi, so that gives you some problems. So you really got to get that thing turned off before you take the Wi-Fi turned off, but the record function turned on if you're wanting to bring back what you see. If you're just wanting to do some first-person video flying, all you have to do is turn the GoPro itself on. So to make this setup work, to kind of give you an overview, you've got to make sure that you've got the batteries in the quadcopter charged. You've got to make sure your GoPro's charged up, because although it'll run first-person video, it won't do any recording if it doesn't have its battery charged up. Then you've got to have a couple battery packs here. One to drive the data link that goes to the ground station software that you'll run on your phone or your iPad, and one to run your first-person video. So you're going to see that it's going to take a fair amount of planning if you want to use this thing in an automated flight as well as do first-person video with the Phantom 2. So now that we've had a chance to look at the Phantom 2, now we're going to look at one of the newest offerings from DJI, which is the Phantom 2 Vision Plus. The Phantom 2 Vision Plus is a little different because it integrates some of the things we saw in the last model and puts them all into one package. Just like we saw in the Phantom 2, the battery is a modular slip-in, pops right in the back of the Copter, and so we'll start by flipping or pushing that in there and powering up the Copter. And then this has its own built-in camera as well as a built-in gimbal that comes standard with it. So we'll remove both the gimbal lock and the lens cover off the camera that you put in for transport and pull out the transmitter. In this particular unit, we saw before, we had some FPV gear and some other things that we had to get prepared before we fly. With this one, basically what it does is it sets up a localized Wi-Fi through this Wi-Fi unit that's on the back of the transmitter, and then you take your cell phone or tablet, whether it's an Android or an eye product, and you clip it into this clip that's already comes on the controller. And now your phone actually, because it's communicating with this Wi-Fi, and this Wi-Fi is communicating with the Copter, basically gets all the first-person video as well as does your navigation. So whereas with the Phantom 2, we were using that 2.4 gigahertz system, and we had it communicating back to an iPad or an iPhone that had ground station on it, this has the Vision app that they run the Vision with. And so the Vision app basically has the ground control portion and the first person video portion built into the same app. And so you just switch screens on your phone by swiping to the left or swiping to the right, and you can either see what the helicopter is seeing through the camera, or you can see what where it's at as far as in its pre-described path. Also, with the Phantom 2, you tend to have to know something about GoPros. With this one, their proprietary camera that they've put on this one, actually all the controls for that are within the phone here as well. And so when you need to change the tip of the camera, you touch the screen and it moves the camera up. You can also set it into a mode where it's automatic, so that as you pitch your phone, it actually pitches the camera. So if you're too busy flying to try to change the angle of your camera, you can literally just change the pitch of the controller, and that'll move the camera up and down as well. So with this one, basically what you got to remember is get your battery packs for your quadcopter charged up, and then the only thing in addition is you got to plug in this Wi-Fi, and it seems to have a pretty good lifespan as far as battery time, but you got to plug in this localized Wi-Fi and make sure it's charged up so that it can communicate with your phone. Then set the controller in the GPS mode, get your phone Wi-Fi connected to this, and you're off to the races. So that's the Vision Plus. When you look at the two of them, there's about 500 to 700 feet of difference. The Phantom 2 will actually go a little further out than will the Vision Plus. But as you can see, the Vision Plus, when you're going to set up and you're taking it to the field, is actually going to be a lot less work, and you have to know a lot less about the setup of the entire project. On the Phantom 2, we had about a day investment in just getting all the gear mounted onto the quadcopter so that it was ready to go. With this one, what you see is what you get when you open the box. You pull this out, you take the lock off the camera. This comes out of the box as well, and basically you're just one battery recharge away from going to the field. So hopefully this clears up the difference between the Phantom 2 and the Phantom 2 Vision Plus, and I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you.